the Metropolitan Transit Authority, better known as the MTA, is attempting to levy a burdensome tax on the population in the form of a subway fare increase. Citizens, hear me out. This could happen to you.
Well, let me tell you of the story of a man named Charlie on that tragic and fateful day. He put 10 cents in his pocket. His wife and family went to ride on the MTA.
But did he ever return? No, he never returned. And the kid still unlearned. What a pity. He rides forever beneath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned.
Charlie handed in his dime at the Kendall Square station, and he changed for Jamaica Plain. When he got there, the conductor said, "One more nickel, Charlie, get off of that train."
Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned.
All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to bring up a sister beloved who is here from the People Agenda, Sister Helen Butler. Thank you, Helen, a great big hand.
Are you fired up? All right, we are here this afternoon, and I bring you greetings on behalf of the Coalition for the People's Agenda, convened by Dr. Joseph Eccles Lowry. And isn't it ironic that we just came from Selma, Alabama, where it all started, the civil rights movement started with a sit down on a bus. Here we are in Atlanta, Georgia, in 2013, still striving for civil rights. We're talking about taking us back and privatizing a public transportation system that the people of Fulton, DeKalb paid for 30 years. We won't take it. No justice. And we're going to get justice. Because we will, if we have to, like the people of the civil rights movement, for 385 some odd days, they really marched, walked, to get to where they had to go to make sure that justice was done. We're here today to say to our legislators in there and to MARTA that we will not allow MARTA to be privatized. We have a collective bargaining agreement that we want honored. We believe in quality employment for our employees of MARTA because they give good service to the citizens of these counties. We have with us today some of our coalition partners who will talk about why it's important, not only from a civil rights issue, but from an economic justice issue. Right. We intend to make sure that our investment, and believe me, we have invested in MARTA, is protected. You'll hear what they're trying to do with the change of the board structure and other things with these bills. But I'm just here to give you a word from my leader, Dr. Joseph Lowry. He told me just on the cell phone a few moments ago that he stands with you and that we will not allow MARTA to be ravished. So our coalition partners are going to come up and tell you how they support you. But first, we're going to hear from the people who have been working with the employees of MARTA. We have the International Vice President, President Larry Haney from the Transit Union. And we have Mr. Curtis Howard, President of the local Transit Union. Let's hear it from them.
ATU, fired up! Well, I just want to speak on behalf. I don't want to take much time. I think our international president can deliver the message better than I can, but I want to say this is the people's system. For 30-something years, DeKalb, Fulton, and the city of Atlanta have invested. Yes, sir. And we have given all we have as workers to put our time and resources to make sure that our children, the community, the disability groups, and everybody else move safely through this city. And we're going to stand up and we ain't going to take it no more. President Larry Hanley, y'all, for the ATU.
Thank you. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, everybody. You know, all across not only the country, but all across the world, companies like Veolia are going around and spreading their influence and using it to get politicians to privatize public systems and public properties. And all across the country, I can tell you what that means. It means in Chicago, when they privatized parking meters, that the prices went up for the public. It means all across the country in every transit system. In Nassau County in New York, where Veolia was successful in privatizing the transit system, what it meant is 60% cuts in service and increases in the fare. That's what the people in Atlanta have to look forward to if, in fact, they get away with passing this bill and then imposing privatization on the people of Atlanta. So we want you to know, on behalf of our 200,000 members throughout the country and Canada, that we stand with you in Atlanta. We stand side by side with not only our members, but with all the people who ride the system here and all the people who should be riding the system here in Atlanta. I'm sorry, you can't hear me? Is that better? Yeah. Sorry, they gave me a short mic. So I want you to know, on behalf of all of our members in the U.S. and Canada, that Atlanta will be where we make our stand. You know, it's the cradle of the civil rights movement. They name streets in Atlanta after civil rights leaders, and then they turn around and create laws to strip people of their civil rights. There's something wrong with that, and we intend to make this not only an issue in Atlanta and throughout the state of Georgia, but also an issue all over the country, because this is an issue of what is happening to America's workers. And it's about how Americans' workers are losing all of our rights, losing our wages and our pensions. So we want you to know, as we go forward, that our international union will be here working again, not only with our members, but with the members of the community, to make sure that we win when this bill comes up, and we keep winning, and we're going to convert this system into one that everybody in Atlanta can be proud of. I thank you all for coming today, and thank Curtis and all the officers of 732 for their great leadership. Yes, sir. And also, that's right. Thank you. And also all our coalition partners, without whom we would have no fight. Thank you all.
Fired up! Ready to go! Fired up! Ready to go! All right. We have another partner who talks about the environment a lot, because modern system provides for protection of the environment and our health. Let's welcome Miss Amanda here from the Women's Actions for New Directions 1.
Thank you. I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of our state legislators bowing down to every corporate interest that walks down in these halls. So we've been down here working with our legislators for 2 weeks, and it doesn't matter whether it's Medicaid, workers' rights, and now public transportation. This is a war that is being waged on workers. And it is now time to stand up to the legislators to remember that we, the taxpayer, are paying for their job to represent the voice of the people. Juan stands with you, and we want to keep MARTA public.
Now, for those who don't know specifically what these terrible pieces of legislation will do, here's a young lady that I worked with on transit for a long time, Miss Ashley Robbins for Georgians for Better Transit.
For too long, our state has told us that we're not good enough, that while they'll come to our city and they'll ride our bus, but they won't pay into our system, and they're sitting here paying Greta, supporting Greta, without supporting MARTA, which moves this entire region. So we're here to say that we're not going to stand up for it anymore, that we're taking it back, that this is our system, and they can't tell us how it should be run. There are components of this bill that would cost potentially MARTA $70 million in federal funding. So not only are they taking our local money and telling us how to spend it, they're taking our federal money that we get as a right and taking it away from us. Beyond that, they're looking to give it to outside companies. So they're taking it out of our region and giving it to foreign companies.
No.
So are we going to stand for that?
No.
Are we going to take our system back?
Yes.
It's our system, and we have the right to this. We have transportation as a human right. MARTA is our right as Atlanta residents who paid for the system for 40 years. It is our system. So stand with us, and we will grow this coalition, and we will take our state back.
All right. There are two gentlemen that I'm going to bring up next. One will speak first and the other one will come up. But I talked about, you know, the lady Rosa Parks that sat down on the bus. She was a member of this organization that has been fighting for our civil rights. And I have two gentlemen that are going to come up and tell about their support of you and how we're going to protect MARTA. First, we have Dr. Quincy Harris from the Georgia State Conference NAACP. And that big battle warrior out in DeKalb County, Mr. John Evans.
I want to say greetings to everyone. And first of all, I want to let you know that the NAACP is 100+1% behind the unions. We've been there since 1909, and we're going to stay there with you forever and evermore. First of all, I like to put this in perspective, that we have American backstabbers, and these backstabbers smile in your face and stabbing you in the back. We're paying taxes, and we are not getting the proper representation, which is necessary for us to live a life. So, first of all, that whole phenomenon of this backstabbing is really a mental subnormality. All right? That's the first thing that shows the signs and symptoms of a social schizophrenic. And what I mean by this is that on one hand, they say they're going to respect and they're going to represent you. But on the other end, they're killing you. That don't make sense to me. Another point. They build their whole phenomenon or their thinking or their paradigm on assumptions, gumptions, and hypotheticals. And what I mean by that, not on fact. If they realize the harm that they're bringing to this community when they try to privatize and also sell out the MARTA to a French organization, Viola, at some point, we got to say, we fed up, we ain't taking no more, because we're going to vote you out the door. And you know what? And the other thing, too, if you can justify slavery, you can justify anything. So I ain't even going to think about what they're talking about, and Mr. Jacobs want to tell me that, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to save money, we're going to do this. But they don't even have the right proper information from KPMG who did the data. So they don't even know how much money is being saved, so they're lying to us, basically. So, again, we have to fight against this un-American act of trying to destroy our lives. And, you know, and the last point, remember the lady, the 87-year-old woman that died because of policy and we can't save your life? Here we are. They're trying to kill MARTA. They're trying to kill the American system that's having a heart attack, and they're telling us, don't get involved. Because that's not what you're supposed to do. Let the folks in this office do that for you. But I'm saying, no, we got to stand up, and get involved. You got to vote. You got to write your congressman. You got to join the union. And you got to join the NAACP.
How are you doing? Listen, if you don't think this is Reconstruction, you're not thinking too well. They've got us running and ripping, and we've got to change our course. We've got to change it. We can't keep doing what we're doing now and not following up. Some of us got to go to jail. We got to demonstrate, don't you think? We got to change what we do here. We cannot keep doing the same thing. Now, if you don't think this is serious, you know what's happening in the cab. They're taking our voting rights. They got it in 40 states where they have similar legislation. And all that does is just simply erode the voting process. We can't afford none of it. It's tough, and we're going to have to get tough. We're going to have to do things a little different. Now, when we're ready to fill up the jails, I'm ready. We got to do it. Now, the reason I know all of this, you know, I used to be on the MARTA board. I've heard this kind of stuff before. We killed it then, and we're going to have to kill it now. So we want you to stay fired up. Fired up. Ready to go. Fired up. Ready to go. Fired up. Ready to go. All right, we're going to have to be ready to go. Thank you.
Senator Ronald Ramsey from out in DeKalb County. Followed by Senator Steve Henson. Followed by none other than that rebel rouser, Senator Vincent Ford.
Brothers and sisters, good afternoon. My name is Ron Ramsey. I'm your state senator in District 43. Welcome to your state capital. This is your government, and you have a right to say how it works. We are here in battle. It is a war. People quickly forget that organized labor, working men and women built the infrastructure of this nation. But we've forgotten that. We fought for the rights, we gained the privileges, and some of us forgot about the struggle. We were able to get our weekends, we were able to get our vacations, we were able to get our house with 2-car garages, we were able to get the benefits, and we became comatose. We forgot about the struggle, and they knew we became comatose. That's why they're trying to do what they're trying to do right now. So I'm proud to stand here today with your leadership, Charlie Freeman of the AFL-CIO, your president, Curtis Howard, and my warriors in the Senate, my Democratic leader, Steve Henson, and our warrior, Vincent Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in war, and we are going to win. Win! We are going to win. Win, 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 win. Thank you, man.
We wonder, why do they worry so much about you earning a living, a decent living? That's because they're afraid it might spread to the jobs that they're running, where they're not paying people a decent wage, taking care of their employees. It's not right, and you need to stand up and fight for it. The labor movement has done too much, come too far to step back and sit in the back seat anymore. So thank you. Thank you to ATU. Thank you to your national president coming down and your business manager and all of the labor leaders, Dewey and the Labor Council and all of them. You know, we need their help every day up here at the Capitol. They support us when we work on bills. They support us in our campaign, some of it with money that you give to them, and we appreciate you. I want you to know it's a team effort. And the Democratic team of Georgia and every 18 Democratic members of the state Senate are on your side and fighting for you. And no one in the Georgia Senate is fighting harder for Atlanta's own, Fulton County's own, Vincent Ford. Yeah. So when he comes up here and he tells you that he's been working day and night for you, you know he means it. And when he tells you he's going to make sure we're there tomorrow working for you, you know he means it. So I'm going to welcome a champion of the ATU, champion of workers in this state, Vincent Ford. Vincent.
the greatest union in the world, ATU. Give yourself a round of applause.
Who moved this city?
Who moved this city? Who moved this city? I want to ask you one more time, who moved this city?
We moved this city.
All right. Woo, y'all fired up. You got me fired up. All right. Thank you for those kind words, Leader Henson, the working man's best friend here at the state capitol. We appreciate you and love you for what you do to watch out for working people. Brother Hanley, Brother Howard, friends of labor members of ATU, I appreciate you being here. I've been hanging out with you a lot lately. And now we're here together at the scene of the crime. I call it the scene of the crime because the people that want to take away your standard of living are doing it right here. Mike Jacobs, he ought to be here. He ought to be here to answer to the people. But he ain't going to be here. He's going to throw a rock and hide his hand. But tomorrow morning, he won't come to us. We'll come to him. There you go. Something got messed up. Something got messed up. When it got to the point where folk making a decent wage is a problem. Something got messed up. When it got to the point of having health benefits was a problem. And some of us even buy into it. Like good wages is a crime. Taking another man's food off his table is a crime. And that's what they want to do. And that's why I'm glad that you're here. And I hope you don't leave after the rally. I hope you go into the Capitol. I hope you go in the legislative office building, and I hope you go up to the second floor and tell them, leave us alone. Keep your hands off my wages. Keep your hands off my benefits. Keep your hands, sure enough, off my pension. Because it's the wrong thing to do. And y'all need to be here, not just today, you need to be here for the rest of the session.
Right. That's right.
Because things sure enough get sneaky around here, Brother Fan. That's right, March Madness. They tell so many lies and do so many sneaky things. Please be here. But I'm glad that you're here. This is the best day I've had this session. I feel good. I feel good. So I'm going to end by asking you my age-old question. Are you ready to fight? I don't think Nathan Deal heard you. Are you ready to fight? I don't think Mike Jacobs, that so-and-so, I don't think he heard you. Are you ready to fight? All right, are you ready to fight? Let's go.
My name is Paul McLennan, and I'm a retired member of Local 732, 30 years member.
Tell us why the retirees are such an important part of this coalition, and that you're also working with the disability community.
Retirees are an important part of this coalition because their lives are going to be affected dramatically if the 401k pension plan is introduced instead of what we have now. Because as long as people are not paying into the pension, that's going to affect the rest of us down the road.
So tell us about the history that you know, that MARTA outsourced, privatized mobility to a company, and they took it back because it was so incompetently run. So are we repeating history here, bad history?
There's an example in Atlanta already, and actually there's a couple examples. One is Dave Transportation, which in the 90s was contracted out, and the service was so bad it had to be brought back. Another example is Atlanta Water and Sewer, which was also contracted out by the mayor and the city, and that was also a debacle and had to be taken back.
And tell us why the passengers are part of this coalition, why that's important as far as the success of getting this privatized bill stopped in the state Senate, and also to stop these jobs from going overseas. Why is it important that the passengers and these other community groups are involved with the ATU?
It's essential because the union cannot do it alone, and without the support of the community, we won't be able to build the sort of human rights and civil rights movement that we need to win this battle.
What's the significance of the international president being here in Atlanta?
It shows how serious the problem is that we're dealing with here, that the international cares enough to come down and represent and fight for us. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Tell me why you're here and what's the importance of this coalition?
Absolutely. Well, I'm here, one, as a concerned citizen of metropolitan Atlanta, but specifically serving the faith community and our youth and young adult population. I believe that transportation is a significant issue for our young people. One, to understand why and how it's organized, but two, also to be able to see how it brings our city together, and the need for transportation is significant. And so I wanted to just come, offer my support, offer my voice, and just continue to be a part of the democratic process, and particularly to model that for our youth and young adults here in the city of Atlanta.
Thank you. The Teamsters have issues nearby, and you're here to support the ATU and its passenger coalition. Tell us about what's the connection between what's happening to your members and what's happening to the MARTA members.
Well, obviously, there's kind of a full court press going on against working people in this state, and the attacks on ATU are just part of it, and our members are under attack as well. Obviously, MARTA is, I live in Metro Atlanta, I live in South Fulton County, and the MARTA system is the spine that provides a lot of people transportation to good jobs in this area, and I think that the legislation moving forward is really an attempt to reduce the quality of that service, frankly, but also it's in trying to privatize the areas and the services that they're doing. They're trying to undermine what have historically been good-paying jobs in our community that have helped uplift our communities and helped provide good jobs, good houses, good schools for the children, college educations, health care, and retirement for a whole thousands of people in this community. And so we're here with our brothers and sisters at ATU just saying that we need to stop all the attacks that are going on working people, and we need to also stand up for good services for our communities.